Rhapsody in August, and so our meager retrospective on Kurosawa comes to a conclusion. Hopefully we disappointed some of you along the way, and now we finish up with Rhapsody in August, a 1991 feature, which is not Kurosawa's last, but very close to it. The final feature was Maradayo, which I discussed on this channel 2 years ago. If I have anything unique to share about Rhapsody in August, and I'm not sure if I do, it is both to claim it to be one of Kurosawa's multiple masterpieces, but also to express a major disappointment at the partial controversy which entailed this film's response from some Japanese and also some American critics, vacuously moralizing about whether a family is allowed to express sorrow over a deceased relative because Japan committed war crimes, thereby the atomic bomb on Nagasaki, in this specific case, was justified as a weapon to be used on civilians, apparently. The protagonists, the grandmother Kane, deceased husband, lost his life in the atomic bombing of Nagasaki, and so therefore he must not be sympathized with, and supposedly not his family and descendants either. I, however, don't consider the Japanese to be less than humans, as even some apparently needlessly self-flagellating Japanese appear to feel. Listen, I had great uncles who died fighting the Japanese. If I say you need to lighten up, do feel free to lighten up, someday. This is like condemning a film about an American veteran of Iraq or Vietnam before, due to the aggressive nature of the American attacks. Some accused the film of sentimental superficiality in its sympathetic humanism, preferring, presumably, the binary values reflected in the innumerable films about the war, any wars, conveniently unnuanced victors. Roger Ebert did not mention the moral concerns, as far as I know anyway, but expressed disappointment that the vapid dramas of older cinema were being replaced by works of what he called fanciful imagery, even though the humanism and emotion of Rhapsody in August dwarfs that of Akira, Redbeard, or Rashomon's tacked-on final scene. I'm a major champion of Rhapsody in August, would certainly be the best film to feature Richard Gere if Days of Heaven didn't already also exist. I'm with Jonathan Rosenbaum on this, and if Rosenbaum happens to be watching this, I have to say, Jonathan, what are you doing? You most certainly have better things to do than watch my frivolous channel. I find it to be one of the more moving dramas I have ever seen. Likeable characters, compelling dramatic atmosphere, superlative impactful imagery. It feels lived in and seamlessly organic. One feels like they are standing there with the players. That is how much mood the images seep out of the screen. And the most believable yet enunciated, beaming performances in a century of Japanese dramas. They can often express emotions other than somber adulthood or impatient, restless childhood. I've often said that film dramas often reflect the concerns of a novel or a theatre drama, as opposed to, rather than the unique cinematic qualities of their form. And in the case of Rhapsody in August, this could not be further from that generalized, oft noticed, from me, truth. So that ends the Kurosawa retrospective. I can't imagine this was very good for many of you. We'll be going to a director up next who might be one of the easiest directors to write about, and also one of the hardest to write really, really well about. Until then, if you haven't seen the Kurosawa films championed on this channel, you are absolutely positively missing out. And if you feel as though his films are overrated, I would love to know your priorities. They would be rather alien, though perhaps not unwelcome via myself. And hey, if you like your Kurosawa but don't know Rhapsody in August, concerned it would be dull, lesser late career genius auteur, too American, has Richard Gere, I would make the claim that Rhapsody in August is the best possible film it could be whilst fulfilling its conceptual premise, not straying far from it, and not perhaps smugly trying to incorporate any other concepts in a stridently postmodern form. A very sincere family drama which does not feel very trite or overly rote or at all didactic. It just flows and breathes. No intention to flat hipply address a universal metatextual snarky insecurity about the widespread humanist appeal as indie dramas from the early 21st century on are sometimes prone or hoping to do. It simply believes in its premise, the players, the emotions, and the purpose of sharing a story with such potent visceral feelings. Not just a great film from Kurosawa, another one of his best films, which would then make it one of the best films ever made. Each of the colour fictional features from Kurosawa is one of the best films ever made, even more so than his already spellbinding black and white classics, Rashomon, Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, Hidden Fortress, Bad Sleep Well, and High and Low being the best of them. Future generations will revere colour Kurosawa on a much larger scale than his black and white work, without diminishing how exalted his black and white works are. It is just that the reverence of the colour era will be so significant as to overshadow the eternally cherished era when he filmed all of his work via black and white. But yes, Rhapsody in August, Akira Kurosawa. Even though I can't imagine why you would, I hope you so enjoyed any of these banal, likely useless uploads.